What is up, geeks and geekettes? It's another episode of the Countdown to the Geekcast. My name is Steady, and with me on this episode, making his return, is one and only Matty B.
Matty B TV, baby!
And we got a very special guest today. He needs no introduction. He does charity events throughout the year. I've known him for close to 10 years, I feel like almost already, and I've never seen him without his mask. He's never revealed his true identity. It's the one and only Batman of San Antonio. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Geekcast Nation? Thanks for having me, guys.
And you're joining us because this is a momentous occasion. We got a brand new Batman trailer with Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz. And Maddie and I were talking. He's like, you know what? We should get the Batman on here. I was like, we should get the Batman on here. So we got the Batman on here.
There we go.
How excited are you for this movie?
Oh, man, you know what? I'm trying to keep it really, really low right now. You know, there's always excitement when a new Batman movie comes out. It's so divisive. You know, people don't like Pattinson because of the whole Twilight Sparkle thing. But Matt Reeves, man, how can you not be excited about Matt Reeves? But honestly, the one thing that I am most excited about, the villains, man, because it doesn't matter who Batman is. Sometimes it's the villains that always heighten the actor. Always. So I'm so excited to see the Riddler in action, man. So excited.
And I will actually also echo that sentiment. Paul Dano, he's actually like a really unique actor, and I've liked him ever since I saw him in The Girl Next Door, which wasn't like a big role for him to be in, but that's when I first knew him, and I've been following sort of his career along the way, and he's put out some great stuff. Maddie, I know you are a huge Ghostbuster fan already, and you're a big Matrix fan, but tell us exactly how ecstatic you are for the Batman movie.
Batman was my first hero. I found others later. Batman was the only human superhero that I knew of at that age. I loved him. I thought everything he represented was perfect. I grew up in the Val Kilmer, George Clooney era. So looking back, I don't love those movies as much.
Yeah.
I think Nolan bringing it back to the real world helped. And this Reeves film seems to be grounded on Earth as well. Everything seems practical, from the Batmobile to his technology, these sorts of things. And I love film noir, and it's very influenced there. And I'm very, very excited to see what it is. The trailers are great so far. This one, we'll see. But so far, I'm impressed.
I would agree with that. And you know what? You made me think of something. It feels like with all the trailers we've already gotten, it feels like you're getting sort of the best elements from like every single Batman iteration. Like Gotham looks bigger than life now, and you always wanted that to happen again. Give the other older Batman movies flack, like Batman and Robin or Batman Forever, but Gotham was always larger than life. And I always loved that aspect of it. It was always its own character. And I feel like Matt Matt Reeves is doing something like that again, bringing the essence of the comic book Gotham back to the big screen. Well, gentlemen, I know I've been rambling on too long, but shall we react to the trailer now?
I've been waiting.
Yeah, let's do it.
I was only going to watch it with him.
Here we go, folks. This is the latest trailer for the Batman, titled The Bat and the Cat.
Bruce Wayne,
Sorry.
I wouldn't be bothering you here, but your people keep telling me you're unavailable. You know, you really could be doing more for this city. Your family has a history of philanthropy, but as far as I can tell, you're not doing anything.
The Riddler is asking for you.
The killer left this for the Batman. Why is he writing to you?
You came. I've been trying to reach you.
Riddler's latest. It's all about the Waynes. If we don't stand up, no one will.
You got a lot of cats.
Never think about slaves. The bad cat. It's got a nice ring.
New friend of yours?
I'm not so sure. I'm just here to unmask the truth about this cesspool we call a city. You're part of this too. How am I part of this? Oh, you're really not as smart as I thought you were. Bruce Wayne. All these years, you lied to me, Alfred. We can cut our scars, Bruce.
He's still away.
He's involved in this? No, he's not involved.
How do you know? He's just a lady. Why are you under there? What are you hiding?
Selena, don't throw your life away.
Don't worry, honey. I got 9 of them.
It can be cruel, poetic, or blind. But when it's denied, it is violence you may find.
Justice. The answer's justice.
Come on, vengeance. Let's get in some trouble.
Yeah.
Can I take a cigarette break? I don't even smoke. I don't smoke. I quit a long time ago. My God.
Oh my goodness. You know what? Should we actually go through that a second time? I feel like that was a lot to take in just once through. I kind of want to do it again. Are you guys okay with that?
I'd be okay with that.
Here we go. Here we go. Take deep breaths, Matt. Deep breaths. That car, though.
Sorry.
I wouldn't be bothering you here, but your people keep telling me you're unavailable. You know, you really could be doing more for this city. Your family has a history of philanthropy, but as far as I can tell, you're not doing anything.
Riddler is asking for you.
That horn
The killer
section.
left this for the Batman. Why is he writing to you?
You came. I've been trying to reach you.
Riddler's latest. It's all about the Waynes. If we don't stand up, no one will.
You got a lot of cats.
Never think about slaves. The bad cat. It's got a nice ring.
New friend of yours?
I'm not so sure. I'm just here to unmask the truth about this cesspool we call a city. You're part of this too. How am I part of this? Oh, you're really not as smart as I thought you were. Bruce Wayne.
Dude.
All these years, you lied to me, Alfred.
Something very horrifying.
Don't let our scars, Bruce.
He's still away.
He's involved in this? No, he's not involved.
How do you know? He's just a lady. Why are you under there? What are you hiding?
Selena, don't throw your life away.
Don't worry, honey. I got 9 of them.
It can be cruel, poetic, or blind. But when it's denied, it is violence you may find.
Justice. The answer's justice.
Come on, vengeance. Let's get in some trouble.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Matt said, take a lap. Take a lap, Matt. Take a lap.
Damn.
This is our Batman trailer review. This is, you will consider this a third trailer. I think we got a teaser initially, and then we got
Yeah.
like a first official trailer. We've had some TV spots and some other versions of that one. This feels like the third trailer, the second official one, but like the second full trailer. But yeah, let us know if you're in the chat. I see a few people already here. We'll go ahead and we'll bring your comments in a second. Let us know what you thought about the trailer. I'm sure you got theories. We got theories. No spoilers if you're out there searching Reddit, scouring for scripts and everything else. We don't want none of that. We don't want none of that. We want you guys to do the work. Follow the clues, which I'll also talk about in a second because the marketing campaign for this movie is off the charts, and I can't wait to talk about it. Joseph's in the chat says, "Looks interesting." A little bit more than that, my friend. He also mentioned his cowl bothers him a little bit. You know what? It's growing on me. I think at first glance, I was like iffy. I think I'm down. I'm down with the entire look. June is also in the chat. Says this version of Batman paired with Heath Ledger's Joker would have been perfection. Oh my god, I can't even imagine what would have looked like. That just would have been insane. Yeah, but listen, that was a trailer, and now I want to ask you guys, Batman Santonio. We'll go ahead and start with you, my friend. Like your first initial reaction, your first thoughts, your biggest takeaway from that trailer.
I think my biggest takeaway from the trailer is they showed us just enough. You know, in a world now where we can see the entire movie in a 4-minute trailer, Matt Reeves is very smart about picking and choosing. It doesn't look like he's putting the trailer scenes in order. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you can
Oh,
see like the
sure.
beginning, the middle, the end, and you can pretty much extrapolate what the movie's going to be. But there's this little sound bites and little things, and they're all out of sequence. And I think that just kind of just adds to it. I love the real world look of the Batmobile. That's it's dark, it's gritty, it looks like a muscle car. It's completely its own thing. It is to the Batmobile world what the Tumbler was, because the Tumbler didn't look like anything from the Batman '89 or the Val Kilmer movies. It was its own thing, and I love the fact that this Batmobile looks like just Bruce Wayne got a car, tricked it out best he could, and it's going to be the evolution of the new Batmobile that we will eventually know and love. Another thing, I'm not really wild about the cowl still. It's probably one of those things that's never going to fit with me, but I know being a Batman fan, like anyone else, the suit's going to evolve and change. So I'm looking forward to that. But the thing I had said, and I don't know if the microphone picked up, when uh, Pattinson tells Alfred, tells Alfred's character, "You lied to me all this time." Dude,
Yeah,
I was picking up some major Court of Owls vibes,
dude.
and that's I hear everybody reference, Batman Year One and Long Halloween and Batman Year Two, but I think we're kind of overlooking Court of Owls. What if because there are other universes where Bruce Wayne's parents aren't as benevolent as we thought they were. They kind of had their hands in some shady stuff, and I'm wondering, are we going to see that? Is this going to be a new take on Thomas and Martha Wayne? So everything that I'm seeing, it just has me hyped up. But I said, I have to pull myself back. I have to just go with the flow. I don't want to expect the best movie in the world and come out disappointed. Like, yeah, it's an 8. I want to go in
Yeah,
expecting a 7. And that way, if I get a 9 or a 9.5, or heaven help us, a 10, I want to come out in tears. I want to be like, that is the best movie that I've seen this year. That's what I'm hoping for. Seriously. But I mean, trailer amazing. I think if Matt Reeves was the one that cut the trailer, I think he did it in a way that just it leaves you wanting more. And I think that's what any trailer should do. It should leave you wanting more to go to the movie instead of be like, yeah, I can pretty much figure out the whole plot. You know what I mean?
yeah. Especially, I love the part where you're like keeping your expectations sort of low. That way, you don't like ruin the whole thing for yourself. The trailer does feel very methodical in the sense that you're getting some very, like you mentioned, very selective parts. You can't really tell a big timeline from the trailer. And then I love that there's very few flashes of some like major catastrophes happening. It looks like Gotham's being flooded in one of the shots, and I'm just like, dude, where the heck is that coming from? Um, it feels bigger in scale because we're getting some of those larger elements, which I like. It needs to feel like a big movie, and I like that we're seeing those aspects of it. It could still be a very grounded film, but and it doesn't have to be like the world is in danger like most comic book movies are.
Yeah.
But to see some real stakes, and I think Matt's always talking about consequences in movies. It feels like that's there. Matty B, give us your biggest takeaways from that trailer, man.
Stylistically, I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. I love
Absolutely.
it. Their take on practical effects, which is something that Christopher Nolan brought to the universe. They've kept that same idea, but have a completely different take on how it looks. I love that.
Yeah.
There's some other things in this trailer I hope to not see in the movie. It looks as if, to me, they're setting up Colin Farrell's Penguin in this movie to be sort of what Scarecrow was in Batman Begins, where we think this is the big bad, but there's another underlying villain that's really pulling the strings, and we don't find that out until the second movie in Christopher Nolan's universe. It looks like in
Ooh.
this one, to me, potentially, Batman is going to be going against the Penguin because he's sort of a bombastic mob boss type figure who it doesn't care about being in public, while the Riddler is sort of sitting behind and um, to me, that's the exact same thing as Scarecrow to Ra's al Ghul, or and then Bane to Ra's al Ghul's daughter. I mean, we've seen this before, where you set us up with the initial villain who's being manipulated by another villain. I hope that they just keep this fresh. I hope the Penguin has his own plot in this movie.
Sure.
And the Riddler has his own plot in this movie, and
Yeah.
Batman has to fight them both because he doesn't get to choose when they decide to execute their plans, and they're not coordinating together. And maybe that's what leads to a little bit of the chaos here. And you know, we'll see what happens, but I just hope they don't go doing the same trope of undervillain while big villain is pulling strings.
You don't want that, or you think you're afraid that's what's going to happen.
Well, Nolan did that to perfection already.
Sure.
I want them to be. I want the Riddler and the Penguin in this movie, but I want them to have their own goals and ambitions. I don't want them to align on a particular idea. I want them both to be becoming a Batman at the same time with
Yeah.
different plots and levels and changes.
That could be interesting. Batman of SA, you think we could see a Riddler Penguin team up in this film?
You know what? I'm not sure, but I'd be open to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
You know what I really like
I
about
think
this?
with this new iteration of Batman, I think everything that we know or that we think we know about the previous movies, we're starting with a clean slate.
Yeah.
All the way around. We don't know if this end, to the Snyderverse, is he going to be, Lex replacement? We're left kind of just dangling at the end of a string. So every possibility, it's Schrodinger's kind of thing. It's everything and nothing at this point. We don't know into main DCEU continuity. There could be gender swaps and all this thing. There could be, Joker behind the scenes. We don't know what we're gonna get, and I kind of like that. I like the fact that anything could be up for grabs right now.
You think that the Zoe might become Batman? Is that what you mean by gender swap?
I don't I would hope, but there's I don't really know how to explain it other than the fact that anything could happen right now. I think Zoe's gonna do a fantastic. I think she
Sure.
looks amazing as Catwoman. I love like the homemade approach to the costume. You know, I'm just looking forward to seeing what happens in this movie.
You're not the only one. Joseph still in the chat says he thinks Zoe Kravitz is a great casting option for Catwoman, and she is gonna kill it.
I agree.
I agree, and
I'd have to
everything
agree with
we've
that.
seen in this trailer and all the previous ones, yeah, everything we've seen from her in all of these trailers so far, I feel like she just captures the essence of Selena Kyle,
Well,
perfectly
she's
in
going
all of
back.
these.
She's pulling me back to Michelle Pfeiffer.
Sure.
Michelle Pfeiffer is Selena Kyle. How she didn't win an Oscar for that performance, I'll never understand. She
But
captures
you know
Selena
what
Kyle
brought
in a
me
way.
back to that? Not to interrupt, but what brought me back to your whole point about Michelle Pfeiffer is when she referenced her 9 lives. I'm like, are we
Yes,
gonna kind of do that? Are we gonna do that? She,
and the
could
homemade
have
costume.
potentially the 9 lives, or is she just made that pun? You know what I mean?
Well, it could be both,
Yeah.
but
Hey.
you know, two things are possible at once. But I feel a lot of Selena Kyle. The chemistry between Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Keaton was very interesting and odd at the same time. And I felt that from this trailer between these two. And I
Sure.
think that's why they called it The Bat and the Cat. I think they're going to be a lot more prevalent than the Penguin and Riddler relationship. We know what's going to happen with that. The
Yeah.
Riddler is going to end up. Oh no, the Penguin is going to end up being played by the Riddler in the end, and the Batman is going to have to fight this, final end of Gotham scenario. I know what's going to happen with the villains. It's what happens in every superhero movie. The relationship between Catwoman and Batman is what I'm most interested in exploring here in this new movie so far.
The thing I want to call out about Catwoman in this trailer is her fighting style. Her fighting style is very on point with what you would expect a Catwoman to fight like based on comic books, the animated series. Um, she's sort of on the floor a lot. You're seeing leg sweeps, you're seeing flips, tumbles. It's
Simple man.
very Catwoman
Yeah,
esque.
she's really graceful with her movements.
Yes, I
Almost
think it's well. I
ballerina.
think it's well thought out. Bravo to whoever the choreographer is for this one. But so far, what I'm seeing in this trailer, based on how she moves, I think it's much closer in line with what fans would expect, and it's those little details that really take you a long way. So I appreciate that a lot. Batman USA, you got other theories you were
So how are
telling
you
me
guys
about.
feeling about
Hmm.
Gordon? How do you guys feeling about Jeffrey Wright as Gordon?
I'm a big Jeffrey Wright fan from I'm already forgetting what that HBO show was that he's on. Um don't hate me for it, but I'm a
Westworld,
huge
right?
Jeffrey Wright fan. Westworld. Yeah. He's
Westworld.
such a great character. He's such a fantastic performer on Westworld. I feel like this is something to challenge him, and I feel like he fits into the role really well. I wanted to see J.K. Simmons get a
Yeah.
better shot at Gordon, and he probably will in the Batgirl film that he's still
Yep.
gonna be in. That they might shake the Batman Batman around. We'll see what happens with that. But I'm very interested to see what Jeffrey Wright's take on Gordon is. I feel like he can give us a Gordon we've not seen before because he's that great of an actor, caliber of an actor. He's fantastic. I can't wait to see what he does. Matt, are you a big Jeffrey fan?
I like Jeffrey Wright. I see no problem there. Gordon is an inconsequential character to me. I don't really. I've seen a lot of different Gordons through the course of the movies. I don't know if I
Sure.
dislike any of them. Obviously, Nolan's Gordon had a much more significant stake in the story. And so I'm probably more attached to that type of character. But I think that's exactly what Jeffrey Wright will bring to it almost, where you're endeared to him right away. He has that salesmanship as an actor to endear you to him right away. I'm confident in his ability to do that. But I still, at the end of the day, I think it's Gordon. You know, it's going to be at the end, we're not going to be like, wow, how good was that Gordon? It's going to be Catwoman, Penguin, Riddler, Batman.
I think we should give him a fair shot. I feel like Matt Reeves is a type of director who's not gonna have anyone in this film without giving them a good purpose and give them a lot to do.
Mhm.
From Zoe Kravitz all the way to Colin Farrell, I think our main cast is all gonna have significant roles to play, and Matt Reeves, from the sounds of it, is really um, kind of generating this intricate web around the Bruce Wayne character. There's a lot of mythos regarding his parents, the history of Gotham, a lot of mystery, you know, surrounding just multiple characters. So I feel like even a guy like Jeffrey Wright playing Gordon is gonna have a lot to do in this movie, and I'm very hopeful. I could be completely wrong about that, but I feel like Matt Reeves is going to put a solid role for Jeffrey Wright to play, and I'm looking
I mean,
forward to it. Looking
I think
forward
the
to
thing
it.
with Matt Reeves is such a professional, director and a writer. He has a cinematographer's vision, but here's the thing: he's very clever in the fact that he does not waste motion, and he
Right.
always looks into playing the long game. And a lot of the Batman movies that we've seen before, like Kilmer and Clooney, it's always kind of been through the eyes of Batman that we see the movie. And I think Matt Reeves is kind of tilting it on its head a little bit, and I think we're going to kind of see Batman through the eyes of the Riddler and through Alfred simultaneously, and Gordon. So I think this is going to kind of be the movie. We're going to kind of see the movie through their eyes. They don't
Yeah.
trust Batman quite yet. It's only a second year. Obviously, from the trailer, if we're hearing it right, there's a really deep-seated secret within Gotham, and Bruce's parents are behind it. And knowing if they stick to Alfred canon as we know it and have read it, Alfred has always been there to protect Bruce from himself and possibly the truth of his parents. So I mean, I think that Matt Reeves is setting up the long game for
Yeah.
Batman, and I think every character that we see, even if they don't have a lot of time to shine now, we definitely will in the future. Because we all know that Colin Farrell's going to get his own show on HBO Max. So you
Right.
don't cast somebody like Colin Farrell, put him that fantastic makeup for 10 minutes. There's something in there. He's going to be the equivalent, I think, of the Kingpin. That way we have him now set
Ooh.
up in the MCU, but for Gotham. Because even in the comic books, man, Cobblepot's gone legit, and he even ran for and won the
Mayor.
mayorship of Gotham. So I mean, that's something else to think about. I mean, Matt Reeves loves Batman. He's read the comics, so whatever he's got in store for us, I'm game. I really am, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too. Yeah, Matt feels like he's going to put a lot of great ideas forward, and like you mentioned, playing the long game. There's opportunities, right, to expand this world, this universe that he's building. It's not straightforward, which I love. There's going to be several questions that we're going to be asking once this movie is over, and I feel like that's his opportunity to tell more stories going forward. You don't want to reveal everything. You want to, hold some cards close to your chest. That way, you have things to build on going forward. Matt Reeves is that type of director, and yeah, no, I completely agree, man.
Yeah. And
Uh,
you brought up Alfred. If you were to go to 1,000 people on the streets of anywhere and say, "Who is Batman's sidekick?" All of them would say, "Robin." It's not true. It's Alfred Pennyworth. He is, I mean, not just a master butler, which is hard enough to do on its own, but he's understood the intricate technologies that Batman is using in this universe. He knows how to deploy them, he knows how to return home, he knows how to manage very tactical situations, give proper advice. Alfred Pennyworth, to me, like if I'm looking at the movie, I don't care who's playing Gordon, who's playing Alfred Pennyworth, and is he going to be able to hold up this mantle? And he's sort of the guy holding the rope on Bruce Wayne's sanity through most of the movies. He's the one kind of trying to tug him back into reality. So I'm very interested to see a senior figure in Batman's life, because again, we're hitting him very young, where Alfred might still be able to say, "Go to your room," almost, you know,
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm your daddy, kind of like talking to you like that. I'm wondering how that relationship is going to play out. I'd love to see a lot of that.
You know who has the most mystery to me in this entire cast, which it's a great cast. I think the biggest mystery still revolves around Peter Sarsgaard. Peter Sarsgaard, who is just as capable as an actor as anyone on this list, who's fantastic. And I'm never gonna forget when they announced that he was gonna be in this movie. He took a photo and posted it online, and it was him looking down. You couldn't see his face really, and he had one half of his face in a shadow, another one barely in any light. And it's like, you don't do that. You don't do that just for any casting announcement. And he's playing a district attorney who's known as Gil Colson. But I'm still in my head thinking like there's more about this character we have no idea about. And so I'm wondering, because we do see him in this trailer, he's the guy that's all bound with a bomb attached to his hand or his chest. I don't know where the bomb is exactly, but the phone is in his hand. And so maybe, just possibly, he might be a future villain, turn villain. Maybe he's this universe's Harvey Dent, aka Two Face, but we just can't call him Harvey, or else you don't get that twist if you don't know it's actually Harvey. So just thinking outside the box until I see this movie. In the back of my head, Peter Sarsgaard is trying to keep things from the audience and the fans, and I don't know what it is yet. But I'm on to you, Peter. I'm on to you, sir, and I can't wait to see what the reveal is. If there's no reveal, then that was a pretty interesting way of celebrating your announcement with a very mysterious photo that you posted, but we'll see what happens. I don't know. You guys have any thoughts about either Peter or Paul Dano or even John Turturro as Carmine Falcone, which we haven't seen a lot of him in these trailers yet?
I've got something with Carmine Falcone. I know Catwoman is Selena Kyle. I mean, that's something that we all know. But don't forget, in
Right.
the comic books, she's a Falcone. She is Carmine Falcone's daughter. So I'm thinking maybe the reason she's kind of getting involved in all this, maybe she's trying to take down Carmine Falcone or find out, hey, is this truly my dad? And having these real feelings of abandonment, of hating him, that's what causes her to kind of don the Catwoman suit, to take what she feels is hers, but also leaving him broken. I mean, that's another route, man. That's something else that can happen.
Absolutely. Which is a very, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a very long Halloween type component, right?
Yeah, it was definitely a part of the long Halloween, which they said, is influenced by, influencing this movie.
Yeah, I think so. And that could be one of the major aspects of the Long Halloween that they're inspired by. It's not a one for one copy of it by any means, but Catwoman was very involved with either taking down the organized crime or just shedding a light on it, helping Batman in some fashion. I think that part of the Long Halloween that I remember, it looks like it's very prevalent in this trailer, especially because this is a team up movie. From this trailer that we just saw, it looks more like a team up. I mean, they're riding bikes together. Doesn't get any more team up than that, which would be interesting. We've had Batman and Catwoman team up for moments at a time, usually the final act of either Batman Returns or The Dark Knight Rises. But if they're actually together more often throughout this film, I'm all for it. I feel like that's still refreshing in a way to see Batman have a sidekick throughout who's a female. It's not Robin from start to finish, but that could be an interesting dynamic, seeing how he works with somebody else from the beginning of the film to the end. Matt, any final thoughts, sir, on either Carmine Falcone, on any other of the actors, Peter Sarsgaard, or just even Robert Pattinson? Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, some of these things are going to be kind of obvious. We can say there's question marks, but there's not going to be any. When it comes to Falcone and Zoe Kravitz, Catwoman, it's going to be a young woman alongside the hero, as strong as he is, railing against the patriarchy of her father who held her down. And then there's going to be some of those things I know how they're going to work out because that's how comic books do things. That's how superhero movies do things. I'm more interested in how the Riddler is going to play into this.
Yeah.
Seems from that trailer, looking at it, there's some sort of again an old trope to Bane where you push a button and if you don't solve a puzzle in the time, then all of Gotham is blown up. I hope that they reel that in a little bit and maybe not make it the biggest consequence in the world. Maybe not make it where Gotham is destroyed if the Riddler gets his way. Maybe it's one little part of the mission. And once we get to movie 3, that's when the consequences really raise. I'd like to see this movie kind of small. I'd like a little bit of character development. I'd like to see Batman sort of coming to life and building on these characters so they can get these spin-off series and shows and these things. We'll be happy with the movie as long as Batman wins in the end. I mean, we'll be okay with it. I want good character development of the villains,
Yep.
side characters, and Batman himself. And as long as that happens, I'm happy as hell.
There you go. Batman of SA. Any final thoughts on the trailer? Anything else you want to talk about?
Again, the trailer I think is superb. I really don't want to see. I think even if they dropped another trailer, I probably wouldn't see it, and not because I'm not exceedingly curious, but I have all I need to hold me out, until March.
Yeah.
So I just really hope that everybody really enjoys this movie, takes a chance. I know that there are a lot of people, especially a lot of people on my page. We made inside jokes about sparkles and all this kind of stuff, but Matt Reeves would not have cast Robert Pattinson unless he saw something in him, that he has what it takes. He has, youth on his side. He's got hopefully the dedication, to see this all the way through. So I'm super excited for this movie. And I want to thank both of you guys for having me on and everybody else. Go out and watch the movie, man. Just enjoy it. Seriously, just have a good time at the movies. We need it.
Yeah, and I want to put this in because I've seen a lot of the like Team Edward memes as well. But Robert Pattinson is a very good actor, and if you want to rid yourself of those Twilight memories before you see the movie, watch The Lighthouse, a 2019 film with Robert Pattinson. It's filmed in black and white. In itself, the stylization of the film is going to be a little bit similar, and you're going to see exactly what he's capable of. So check that out if you have that clogged in your head and you want to just get rid of it before you see the movie. The Lighthouse with Robert Pattinson.
I got another one for you. The first movie I saw with Pattinson outside of the Harry Potter, Goblet of Fire, or even the Twilight films was a movie called Good Time, and Good Time is a whole nother role of Pattinson compared to those earlier ones of his, and you really got the sense of how capable he is as an actor, what kind of range he has. Good Time is an extremely unique story about somebody who has an extremely bad day, and they've sort of brought the world down on themselves in a way. But Good Time, I don't want to give anything away because I saw it without knowing what it was, and I was actually extremely impressed with his role in that one. So Good Time is another one where you can watch Robert Pattinson and really get lost in sort of a character that he's creating from scratch there. Earlier, I mentioned that I wanted to talk about the marketing campaign for this movie. It's it's gotten pretty cool. It's gotten very interesting, and I hope they don't slow down with it. So they were releasing marquees and standees in theaters, and there was this coded message at the bottom, cipher. There was a cipher at the bottom of these standees in different movie theaters in different states, cities, what have you, and based on an earlier cipher that was released in photos or a production, I can't remember what it was, fans started deciphering a coded message, and it was in another language. It was either Spanish or Portuguese or something, and they actually put that line into a website browser. The line was Rata Alada, and I think it was like 3 different words, but you put it all together, you go to rotterdam.com, uh, and Riddler wants to play a game. It's an actual website where the Riddler is challenging you to answer his riddles. If you successfully answer the riddles, you get a pretty cool little Easter egg from the Riddler himself. So, I hope the marketing campaign doesn't stop there. I don't know how else what the next step would be, but I really want to see, and I would just be eager to see an ARG, an alternate reality game, where sort of we are playing almost of a real world game for ourselves, either being challenged by the Riddler or having to solve clues that lead up to the movie that play a little bit of a role in the movie. We're not solving any part of the movie, but it just helps us get a little bit more invested in the film itself. A lot of films do this, most of them Cloverfield, but that would be interesting if they actually do anything else like that. So, if you want to play a game with the Riddler, rataalada.com, and we'll see if you can get through it. I got through it in the first try. I'm bragging a little bit, humble brag, first try. Let's see if you guys can do it. Post in the chat if you do. Let us know if you were able to get through all of his riddles on the first try. We want to hear from you. All right, before we end this video, Batman of SA, I know you're a busy guy. I know you do plenty of great things. You got a crew that you roll with, different charity events around town. What do you got coming up for yourself and the rest of the crew in the next couple of weeks or the next month?
Oh man, to be quite honest with you, this is really funny that you asked. We ended up getting 4 emails today that we had events set up through January and February because of Omicron. Unfortunately, we had to scale them back. We had to cancel them. And the one that hurts the most, we're going to do a huge fundraiser for Ronald McDonald House. We were going to have a Winter Wonderland, and we were going to have train rides. We were going to have snow brought in, a snow slide for the kids. All to raise money. People can come out and have a great time. That was supposed to be on the 16th of January, but unfortunately, everything for the Alliance is just on pause right now. So we'll still make appearances if someone needs us to, or really wants that, or anything like that. But as far as anything to really help the community, we don't want to get anybody sick. Well, first and foremost, so right now, everything is just on hold until we can, get a hold of, getting this thing contained again.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense. And if people want to find you, find out when the next event is official, Let them know where they can find the Batman of SA.
Yeah, you guys can find me the Batman of San Antonio on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, same thing, Batman of San Antonio. Twitter, Vero. You can always email me at batmanofsanantonio@gmail.com. That goes for the Alliance as well. So we got Green Lantern, Green Arrow, we got Wonder Woman, we got Nightwing, we got Raven. So if you have a little one and they want like a video message or anything like that, just email me. We're perfectly happy sending good greetings over, even if it's just through a webcam. So you can find us all the time. We're always open 24/7.
Absolutely. Fantastic. And June, I'm not going to forget you, man. June wrote in the chat, this is the most real life Batman we have seen, from the car to the costumes to the villains, kind of like Batman meets Zodiac, which is right up my alley. I'm a huge Zodiac buff. I've seen probably every movie they've based on the Zodiac and multiple documentaries. So, yeah, I totally get that inspiration or what they're going for. A villain who toys with the police department. It's a very Zodiac thing to do. The comic book Riddler might be inspired in many ways by the actual Zodiac killer from California, who they've never caught, by the way. Like, that's still
Yeah. They got the
Batman of
gold
SA. I need you to figure that out, man.
23andMe. Be careful. They'll get you out there. They got the
That's
golden
how they
state.
got go.
I
That's
love
how they
that.
got the Golden State guy.
I
Yeah.
I love where they're going with it. This is taking Batman back to being a detective.
Yes.
What he is. He's a detective. And this movie is going to highlight that. I'm very confident in Robert Pattinson doing so. I'm also really happy to see the age that he's in. We see a lot of Batman dealing with Robin at this age, or Nightwing, where they're angsty youth.
Yep.
This is going to be Batman's time in that slot, and it's going to give credibility to him moving forward of developing a real sidekick. And I think Selena Kyle is going to help him with that. And I think that's what I'm really excited to see. He's going to be in that angsty teenage where maybe Alfred's going to have to be cracking the whip a little bit. Hey, you can't be out here doing all that. The same way he did to Robin in a few of the movies and comic books as well.
This the same way Alfred did to Affleck's Batman in BVS. He's always the voice of reason. He's sort of his conscience. He's the Jiminy Cricket of the Batman universe, and
Can
I like Alfred in that role.
We have 2 minutes left with the real Batman of San Antonio. Why do people hate Ben Affleck's Batman so much? I like this. I like the square shoulders. They kind of took it back to the cartoon. I didn't hate it. Why do people hate the Affleck Batman? I liked him.
I thought it was great.
I did too, but it got crazy response. I mean, Bale's hard to follow up.
I think when it
was
comes to casting, especially casting somebody like Batman, a character like that, we will find the one movie or the one series the actor did a terrible job on, or just kind of half-assed it and not let it go.
Sure.
So for when they cast, of course, Affleck, everybody's like, "Oh man, the guy from Sheely, that guy." So I think it's just human nature. We just kind of want to get that one bad part of your life and just pretend like you've never moved on from it. But like you said, Lighthouse, fantastic movie. Really good. So I think if anybody's gonna watch Batman and all you've seen is Twilight, watch that movie and you're gonna run to the theater to watch this version of Batman. Seriously.
100%. 100%. Robert Pattinson is going to kill this movie. It's going to be good. I haven't been this like I would go to Vegas and put money on it right now for the movie in a long time. This is going to be a good movie. I'm very excited to see it.
Absolutely. Can't wait. Gonna watch it multiple times. Be there opening night, God willing, if can make it. And then Batman of SA, you better let us know where you're gonna be at, man. I know you're gonna be making multiple appearances.
Oh, man, you know what? If
Opening
Santino's will let me,
weekend.
man, I will do a meet and greet there. I really would.
Woo!
You know what?
There you go.
Even though I don't like that cowl, man, and I might have to work something different. But who knows? Maybe I'll have the suit ready to go by the movie.
Well,
There you go.
here's the thing. My girlfriend is a radio DJ, and we're gonna do this live on the air. We're gonna be having remotes, and maybe we're working out something with her while you're there with the radio and shaking some hands with some people as safely as possible.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Masks definitely required.
Yeah.
Definitely. There you go. There you go. We'll make this happen. We're gonna hang out for sure opening weekend. We'll figure out a way. I'm sure about that. If you're still in the chat or if you're watching this video at a later time, let us know what you thought about the Batman trailer that we just watched. What are your biggest takeaways? What did you like the most about it? What did you like the least about it? We want to hear from you. Let us know in the comments below. And if you don't do that, you can always reach us by sending a message to us on Facebook by clicking that send message button, or you can always email us on the contact page of our website at www.countdowntothegeekcast.com. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And thank you to my two guests joining me tonight. It is the one and only Matty B. And here's our local hero, the Batman of SA. Thanks again, man.
Thanks, guys.
Sick outfit, Matt. Sick outfit. There you go.
Jealous of
Have
that
a good night,
suit.
folks.